Yo, what is going on, boys and girls? My name is Tex, and today we are going to be predicting this season's Premier League table, as well as the Champions League, Europa League, and other various leagues around the world, the top 5 leagues in Europe. So, let's get into it. Alright guys, so obviously this is going to be a tough one because this year is going to be even tougher than ever. We've got teams like Fulham coming in with crazy players like Andre Schürrle, Huddersfield spending mad money as well. A lot of teams actually being able to supply the funds to improve their team so much. So I think this season is going to be really tight. But at the start of the season, most people were saying that Man City are going to win this easy peasy, but we're 4 games into the season so far, and it's really looking very tight. It is looking tight. I'm looking at the table right now. Manchester City are in 4th place with 10 points, and the only 3 teams to not lose a game yet are Man City, Watford, Chelsea and Liverpool. Chelsea, Liverpool and Watford are on 12 points. They've won 4 out of 4, which is incredible, especially for Watford. So honestly, it's going to be tough. But now let's get into the actual video. I'm going to go predicting number 20th, the bottom place team. There's 3 teams that are going to go down this year, obviously, to the championship. And I think the first team I'm going to predict to go down, honestly, I don't think that Cardiff are going to do well. So Cardiff, I might pick to be bottom of the table. They've had a pretty bad start. 4 games, only 2 points. They're really not a great team. They don't have many players. I don't even know who they have as like a good player. Cardiff City Football Club. Honestly, it's just shocking. They have when I type in their name, it says David Ward, Neil Etheridge, Bobby Reed. These players, I mean, I don't even know them. They've come up from the Championship last season, and they didn't have a good beginning. They lost to Bournemouth 2-0, and it's not looking good for them, so I'm going to go with them to finish bottom of the table. Now the next one I'm going to have right above them in the 19th position is going to be Huddersfield. Now I know last season they just barely stayed up, so I don't think that they're going to be able to make it this season. They have improved their roster quite a bit, bringing in some valuable players, but I just don't think that the Premier League is good enough for them. I think the Championship, they always do well in there, and I think that's where they belong. The Premier League may just be a bit too tough, and if they keep going season by season, finishing in just 1 place above relegation, it's not really going to help them out in the long run. So I do think that the second team to go down is going to be Huddersfield. Now the third team I think is going to go down, the last team that I believe is going to go down is going to be Burnley. Now honestly, they've had a shocking start to the season, as well as West Ham, but 1 point out of 4 games just isn't good enough. Their team, I thought, would be so much better. Last season they were really dominant, actually. Finished 7th, I think, or 8th, which is super high for them. But from the beginning of the season, I just watched their games. I've seen it, and it's not good. It's not looking good. Unless they can make something happen, I think that Burnley are going to be the last. Maybe quite a shock to go down, because they've been doing quite well over the years in the Premier League. But I think that Burnley are unfortunately going to go down, guys. Now the next one is going to be the 17th place. Now obviously between 8th and 17th we've got just a bunch of teams that are going to be mixing around. This is the middle of the table, so it's going to be quite tough to predict this, but I'm just going to say it in order from 17th to 8th in one go, because it's going to be tough to predict this, and it could change all around during the year. But from the beginning of the season, these are my predictions, guys. So beginning of 17th, looking at this table at the moment, I think Fulham are just going to stay up, but I'm not going to put them in 17th just yet. First of all, I'm going to start with Wolves. I think that Wolves have got a terrific team, but I just don't see them competing against these other teams. There are much better teams that I'm looking at here above them, so Wolves are going to be in 17th place, even though they spent so much money. It's looking like they could be bringing in Cristiano Ronaldo soon, because they're bringing in all these Portuguese players, but I don't think Wolves are going to be competing this season, unfortunately, guys. Now moving on to 16th place, I'm going to go West Ham. Now they've had a shocking start to the season, 0 points out of 4 games. It's shocking, honestly, the improvements they've made, the stadium they have. It's really interesting to me to see them not being able to compete in the European stage, because the team they have, the players they have in their team, the quality they have is tremendous. They just need to really get used to the sort of play the manager wants. But this season, in my opinion, is not going to be the best. Manuel Pellegrini, the manager, hasn't really had the best of starts. I just don't see them doing well this season. I would love to see them do well, because I love Chicharito, I love Felipe Hernandez. Their players are very, very talented and young. But this season, unfortunately, I'm going to place them in 16th place. Now moving on to 15th place. Now I'm going to pick the team that is currently there, which is Crystal Palace. Honestly, I'm not a fan of them. I'm not going to lie. They have a couple of players that, you know, they're good. Like Zaha, they managed to keep him. Balassi, he moved to Aston Villa now. So they're kind of losing players now. I just don't see them doing well. Zaha maybe is the only player that can carry them to a high position, but I think 15th is going to be right for them. Maybe they'll finish higher, who knows. Honestly, I'm not a great fan of Crystal Palace, and therefore, as being London rivals, I just do not really think they're going to proceed further. They just, honestly, the only player I can think of straight off the top of my head is Wilfred Zaha, and I don't think one man can carry a whole team. We've seen this in the past. Teams just haven't been able to make themselves look good, even in the eye of one fantastic player. So I do think Crystal Palace are going to finish in 15th. Now moving on to 14th place, I'm going to go with Brighton and Hove Albion. They've brought some nice players in. Once again, I don't see them proceeding any further. It's just simple as that. These teams in the middle of the table are just going to be quite similar, because they're all quite similar ability. And I can't really say much about them. You know, they're new in the Premier League, and they brought in a lot of new players, a lot of young talent, but they don't have the strength to compete against these other teams. It's as simple as that, guys. So in 14th is going to be Brighton. And moving on to 13th place, we are going to go with a team that I think struggles quite a lot, and we're going to go with Southampton. Now, it's tough to say this, because Southampton are quite a talented team. They have a lot of players, but a lot of players have left as well, and they haven't been able to bring in any support for these departing players. So with that said, I'm going to have to say Southampton are going to finish in 13th. Okay, so moving on to 12th place now. It's getting tight, but there's still 4 more places left in the middle of the table, and it's tough because I don't know who to pick. But looking at the table right now, a team that I've missed out is Newcastle. So I'm going to go with Newcastle there. They're going to finish 12th. I like them a lot. They put on some really good players. You know, Eozo Perez carries them as well. It's a strong team. They have a good side. They have a young side, which is always healthy for the club. And they're going to do well this season. So 12th is their position. Okay, now moving on to 11th place. Now, this was a tough one for me, because there's a lot of teams left here in the middle of the table, but it's going to be Fulham. Reason why is because they have improved their squad majorly. They have Andre Schürrle, a previous Chelsea player, Premier League winner, Champions League winner. Seri, an absolute banger, scored the other day. He's an absolute beast, and so is Mitrovic. They have other incredible players. So I do think Fulham are going to be a shock. They're going to be surprised. 11th is where they're going to finish, in my opinion. So we are down to the top 10, the last 10 in the Premier League, the last 10 standing, the strongest teams. Bottom of the table has been done. Now we're on to the top of the table. Who do I think is going to finish here? Number 10th? It's going to go to Leicester City. Yeah, that's right, guys. Leicester City have been performing quite badly, I'm not going to lie. 4 games, 6 points. It's not bad, but it's not great. They have lost Riyad Mahrez. They have lost Kante before. They only have Jamie Vardy left out of these 3 phenomenal players. So, yeah, I just don't really see them performing that well. They brought in a couple of new players, but they've also offloaded a couple like Simani, and hence the reason why I think they're not going to be able to compete against these other incredible remaining 9 teams, which I'm going to tell you exactly why in a minute. But 10th place is going to go to Leicester City. Now we're on to the 9th place, and it's going to be a tough one now. It's going to be a tough one like the rest of the table. It's tough to predict these, honestly. looking at this, obviously the top 6 are going to be quite guaranteed, the ones which I'm going to say. But in 9th place, I'm going to go with Bournemouth. Bournemouth have been alright. They've had quite a good start to the season. 4 games, 7 points. But at the same time, I watched the game against Chelsea and they were just keeping possession. They're quite good at defending, but Chelsea were just dominating. They were dominating the game. And obviously, yeah, we're talking about Chelsea here, but Bournemouth should be performing better. All they're doing is defending. Once they get caught on a break, that's it. They don't really have the strikers to supply them goals. Fraser isn't that good yet. He can't score these perfect goals, and for that reason, because they have super young side, the manager's very young, the youngest in the Premier League actually, I'm going to go with 9th for Bournemouth this season. Now on to the next, which is the 8th position. We're down to quite a handful of incredible teams now, which are going to be tough to predict, but obviously there's one that stands out of the rest. There's 2 that stand out of the rest actually. I'm going to go with Everton. Everton have always been just behind the rest of the teams to get into the Champions League and Europa League, and I think it's unfortunately going to be the same for them this year. Everton have improved quite majorly actually this season. They spent a lot of money on pretty good players, but they're not going to cut it. I just can't see it happening. They're a strong side, but just compared to the other 7, it's not going to happen. And I'll tell you exactly which team I think is going to finish just above them now, because in 7th position, I'm going to be putting Watford, ladies and gentlemen. Watford are a strong team that are going to finish in 7th. Reason why is they've had a perfect start to the season. 4 games, 4 wins. I just don't see it happening for them this season though. It's been alright though. These first 4 games for them, they've really performed super at top quality level. Just the thing is, the Premier League is not a race, it's a marathon. So for them to be able to compete against teams like Chelsea, Manchester City, Manchester United, it's going to be tough for them. So I think that Watford, even though with the strength of the players they have, Troy Deeney and some other incredible players, Pereira with a banger the other night, I saw that, incredible. But 7th, in my opinion, is still a perfect finish for them, because they're going to be qualifying for the Europa League, which is a great honour, like Burnley did this season, but I think they got knocked out unfortunately. But yeah, Watford in 7th, which is a super high finish for them, super high finish. And of course we're down to the top 6, ladies and gentlemen. Now yes, these are going to be predictions like most people predict, and I think it's going to be like that this season. Top 6 is going to be the usual top 6. And starting with 6th, I'm going to go with Manchester United. Now, yeah, comes as a surprise. Not really, because Jose Mourinho is losing it. The 3rd season curse is coming back. He's not doing good interviews. He's having really bad tactics. People have figured him out. Teams know how to play against him, how to stress him out, and he's getting stressed out immensely. Hence the reason why I just do not think Man United are going to do it. They could even finish lower than 6, but I don't think they're going to finish any higher. Unless maybe Arsenal has a bad season with their new manager Emery. But I think that Manchester United are going to finish 6th. Their team, it's great. It's fantastic. Pogba, Lukaku. But Lukaku's missing his shooting boots. Pogba wants to leave. It's not great for them. 6th is where United are going to finish, if not even lower. Now we're down to the top 5, guys. It's a tough one. As I've said multiple times in this video already, it's going to be Arsenal. Why? Because they have a new manager. Yes, so do Chelsea, but I'll tell you why exactly. Arsenal, new manager, was the manager at PSG, a club that is used to winning trophies. He came to Arsenal thinking it's going to be easy. No, it's not. The players he has are not motivated. They're lazy. Ozil is having a drought of games right now. And I think that Arsenal haven't got the ability to finish in the top 4. Once again, they're going to miss out. 5th or 6th, in my opinion, is where they're going to finish. But I'm going to put them in 5th for this prediction. I'm quite surprised by that, actually, by the start they've had. It's been shocking. 4 games, 6 points. It's not good. A team like this should be competing and winning games easily, but they've had some pretty bad results. And the team just looks lazy. They don't have any motivation to win. Sanchez left a year ago, and I think that probably hit them quite hard. And Ozil isn't on his form anymore. it's not good for them. It's not looking good, guys. But 5th, I think, will be an alright position. Obviously, it's a process. I think next season maybe they'll finish higher, but for this season, I'm going to put them in 5th. And finally, we are down to the top 4 teams in the Premier League. Now, we are left with Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester City, and Tottenham. And Tottenham is a team I'm going to be putting in 4th place. Why? Because I think they haven't made enough transfers to compete in the title race. They haven't bought anyone. They haven't bought anyone in, and I don't even think they have floated anyone. So their team is exactly the same as it was last season. 4 games, 9 points. They won 3 out of 4. They lost 1. Honestly, it's a tough one. But I don't think Tottenham, they have Harry Kane, perfect striker. It's very good for them. Lucas is doing well as well. Obviously, you've got Dele Alli, Son. They have a incredible side, but they haven't made enough changes, and that's going to really push them back this season. I think 4th is the exact position they're going to finish. I can't see them finishing any higher, any lower. Tottenham are going to get in Champions League again, and they're probably going to do well, but they might cause a couple of upsets against like Chelsea or Man City, but they're not going to finish any higher. So 4th is my prediction for Tottenham. Okay, so the top 3 now. It's a tough challenge between these teams because you've got Liverpool, Chelsea, and Manchester City. People saying Manchester City are going to finish first in this league like they did last season, cruising past every team, beating multiple records. But this season, from the start, they've won 3, they've drawn 1, which is pretty good actually. But I'm going to put them in 3rd. It's a surprise to me and to you guys, but I think Manchester City, over the long run, teams are going to start figuring them out. Like, remember Conte last season, 2 seasons ago, he won the Premier League easily because teams didn't know the 3-5-2 formation. And now we're talking about a team that is so good that teams are going to watch them over and over again. They're going to figure them out, and they are going to get exposed. They are going to get exposed, and they're going to lose games like they drew the other day against a bad side. I can't remember who it was, but it wasn't a great side, and they drew against them. So what can I say? I do think that Man City are going to finish 3rd. They have incredible players. Obviously, we know this, the quality of Champions League. They're favourites to win the Champions League. In my opinion, that's wrong. They're not going to win it. They might get to like semi-finals, but that's the furthest they'll get. Manchester City are going to finish 3rd this season, guys. Mark my words. So talking about the exposure of Manchester City, we're going to move to 1st and 2nd place. So 2nd place, big one. Chelsea or Liverpool? Who do I think is going to finish? As a Chelsea fan, you would think I'm going to say Chelsea are going to win it, but no. I think Chelsea are going to finish 2nd. They bought in Sarri. He's had a perfect start to the season. 4 games, 4 wins. Perfect teamwork, team play. Possession has been on point. Jorginho, Kante, and Kovacic. These 3 midfielders are possibly making the best midfield in the world right now. Definitely the best in the Premier League, and this is what's going to carry them through this. That wall in the middle. Kante learning new things now, being able to pass the ball well and shoot as well, score goals is going to make a big difference. Kovacic as well, incredible player. What a player, honestly. I've watched his games. He literally plays, like, his style of play is similar to Hazard's, which is a big plus for Chelsea. And I think that that's what's going to carry them through. Now, Morata is poor. He's not had a good start. He's not had a good season neither last season. So I think they're going to have to improve on that. But Giroud is good in the air. They have striking options with them too. Hopefully Morata gets there. And if he does, then Chelsea have a chance of winning the league. They're going to be title competitors. But at the same time, their defense is poor. David Luiz isn't a great defender. Sarri hasn't played Christensen yet. And obviously Pep Guardiola really praised Christensen last season for being their best player, and I agree he should be starting. He hasn't yet. Maybe something's wrong, but who knows. I think Chelsea are going to finish 2nd, maybe 3rd, maybe 1st. I think they're going to be top 3 for sure. After winning 4 games in a row in the beginning, you're bound to finish high, especially with a team like Chelsea. So 2nd place for Chelsea, and that means that there's only one winner, guys. Liverpool. Now, talking about them, they've bought in some good players. They lost Coutinho, obviously, which hurt them last season, but they bought in Keita. Brilliant midfielder, very similar to the likes of Kovacic and Jorginho. And Kante, he's like all damn 3-in-1, which is perfect, honestly. When I was talking about Chelsea midfield, he is a perfect addition to Liverpool, and he's going to really make a difference. Fabinho as well, quite a good player, hasn't started for them yet, but he's there on the bench. Also, their striking force, Salah, what can I say? Perfect. He's going to have an incredible season. Got nominated for being the best player in the world. He came third, which is bollocks, I think. He should have won it. He was the best player in the world last season. Better than Ronaldo, better than Messi, better than Modric, who won it. So Salah is going to carry them. They have Firmino and they have Mane, who won the Player of the Month this season. So Liverpool are going to win it this year, guys. I think that Liverpool have just got it. They are super strong. They're a side that doesn't give up. They really do well against these other teams, and they're going to do well. They're going to win a lot of games. They're going to dominate a lot of teams, just like Chelsea. And it's gonna be an incredible season, guys. So hopefully you guys can leave a comment down below and tell me who you think is gonna win the league. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Did Liverpool really have that much of a good start that they're gonna win the league now? I think they will. And so Chelsea have a good chance and Man City have a good chance. So I think it's between the three teams, Liverpool, Chelsea and Man City, actually to win the league. But I think that with what we're seeing so far, Liverpool have the biggest chance. So those are my Premier League prediction, guys. Now I've got a couple of other things which are in the works. You can see on the screen down below right there. We have a top goal scorer for the Premier League, a Player of the Year, and a Golden Glove winner. So top goal scorer I think is a tough one, but as I said, guys, Mo Salah is one of the best players in the world, so I think it's between him and Kane like last season. I'm going to say Salah again. Why? Mo Salah, incredible. He's had an incredible start once again. He's one of them players that can carry Liverpool to the title, and I think he's going to do it this season. As I said, Liverpool, if they do win this title, Salah is definitely going to be the top goal scorer, so he is there for me. Player of the Year in that case, because Salah won it last year, I don't see him winning it this year. There's a lot of things that may happen between now and then, but I think this is a difficult one because it could be Salah. If he gets top goal scorer, it could be Salah. It could be Kane. It could be Dele Alli. It could be a lot of good players. But I think Player of the Year this year is gonna be Sterling. Now, why? Tough one. But he is scoring goals. He's making plays. He's showing the Premier League how good he is. And Sterling is going to be my Player of the Year. Yeah, you can say what you want, but I'm not a fan of him. But I do think he's going to win the Player of the Year. He's had a very good start, and he can really help Manchester City if he plays the games to compete for the title. Which means we are left with the Golden Glove. Obviously, Courtois left Chelsea, so he's out of this. I think that Alisson Becker is quite overrated. I've seen his plays. We saw that dummy he did, and it wasn't great. So I think, the goalkeepers, they're always quite tough to predict. But I think it's going to be Manchester City's Ederson. He's really good. He just is, isn't he? Just one of the best goalkeepers in the world right now, and Ederson is going to be the Golden Glove winner. Obviously, it could be Liverpool's goalkeeper, Alisson Becker. Could be Chelsea's Kepa, but he's new and young. Could be Tottenham's Lloris, but my guess is going to be Manchester City's Ederson is going to get the most clean sheets this season. And that is the Premier League wrapped up and done. Now we're going to move on to the bigger competition, which is the Champions League. So the Champions League, I think, is going to be a tough one this season, but because Ronaldo has moved to Juventus, he's going to improve them a lot. The players are going to gain power, energy to win, and therefore Juventus are going to win the Champions League. Europa League, simple. I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm going to say Chelsea, not just because I'm a Chelsea fan, but because they are the strongest team there. The likes of AC Milan, Marseille, or even Arsenal, they cannot compete against Chelsea. Chelsea are just too strong in possession. Sarri is going to bring on the good play, and they're going to win the Champions League, the Europa League, not Champions League, next season maybe, but they're going to win the Europa League, and they're going to be playing Juventus in the Super Cup next season. So now we're down to the other 4 leagues in this world that matter. Really, we're going to go with Serie A. The winner of that is going to be Barcelona, because Real Madrid have lost Ronaldo. As I said, they're going to get weaker. They're not going to get as many goals now. They're not going to be creating as many plays. They're still going to be competing for the title, but Barcelona are just better. Messi's still there, and that's what's going to push them just past the finish line. Bundesliga, it's quite obvious, isn't it? Bayern Munich are going to win. They win it every year. Borussia Dortmund, as much as I would like them to win it, I just don't think they're strong enough to beat Bayern Munich. So Bayern Munich are going to win that one again. And we have the Serie A, which is obviously, in my opinion, going to be Juventus once again. They win it a lot. Obviously, Napoli can compete, and it's a quite strong league. But, you know, AC Milan, Napoli, Roma, no, it's going to be Juventus. Ronaldo is going to carry them through this. And the final one, which there's no point of saying it, but it's going to be PSG. They're going to be winning the French league. Monaco, just not good enough to compete. So PSG are going to win that one. And that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video of me predicting these various leagues, and mainly the Premier League, obviously the Champions League and Europa League as well. And make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Obviously, there's going to be a lot of you disagreeing with my predictions, but I think Liverpool's going to win the Premier League, and that's all that matters, guys. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
They say humans are social animals. They can't live alone.